A thread by Soul War. 3 days until the day. The roar of the MAGA lion will be heard around the world. It will reverberate and echo through centuries to come. We are still living through the aftermath of World War II, the good and the bad. It shaped us in ways many don't realize. The 3rd of November will be a date every child born afterwards will either suffer in darkness or bask in the glory of the light. The crossroads once again has been reached. Which path will America choose? Was there ever a more starkly clear choice? Stability or madness? What if, I'm asked, what if Biden wins? Then the soul war will become personal on a whole new level as the crushing weight of an overwhelming darkness creates the new diamond souls, martyrs crystallized by their mortal destruction. But that is not the story I'm here to tell. No true indicator I'm reviewing daily gives me any impression Biden could win. The mainstream media and pollsters are spinning their wheels madly along with big tech, they not only ignore Huntergate, they censor it. Someone, or his Judas goats, has convinced them censorship is a superpower. I've posted several quotes from Edward Bernays, considered the father of public relations and modern propaganda. Here's one quote lost in time. It is important that any effort to influence or affect the American public that is not in the public interest be killed by the light of pitiless publicity and analysis. Edward L. Bernays. Yes, Bernays and James O'Keefe would have gotten along because Bernays was not a propagandist. His techniques were used by propagandists. Does that quote sound like a propagandist? His job was to promote products and ideas via media's ability to manipulate people and public opinion. That's it. A note on the true value of propaganda to those determined to control others. It can't. Propaganda enforces existing belief. It can't create those beliefs. If that were true, humanity would have been sunk before you were born. So all of these media types, new and social, are deluding themselves hugely for 3 more days. Then the polarizing break goes from cracks of strain to full blown collapse. As Americans watching the Trump movie munch popcorn and sip their favorite drinks, we watch a decrepit edifice built for over a century that was supposed to be our dark tower a la Barad-dûr shatter and crumble under the weight of its own lies, destroyed down to its foundation. That's a Lord of the Rings reference for those of you who don't know. You will see panic and disbelief manifest before your eyes on screens beamed to you from bastions and strongholds of Democrat fealty as one by one you see them realize they've lost all hope of stopping the inbound Pax Americana. It will look like Megyn Kelly's face in 2016. For those of you just listening, this is Megyn Kelly's face on 20 in election night 2016, and she looks like legit terrified. That was her face the instant she realized Trump had won. Sheer disbelief tinged with horror. Now, I don't hate Megyn. She'll be fine, and under a Trump second term, her life, just like ours, will be amazeballs. She's being freed from a hideous influence, a soul crushing influence. I've posted this already, but it's so important. I'm doing it again. Because as the crisis point recedes behind us, the second great awakening will begin. These great souls are hurling a gauntlet into the face of darkness to stop the Great Reset. Donald Trump tweeted on June 10th. So honored by Archbishop Vigano's incredible letter to me. I hope everyone, religious or not, reads it. Soul War continues. I am not a religious being, but I am a spiritual one. I've encountered too many beings who are religious but not spiritual to tie myself to any system or process that interferes with my ability to see and know this universe for myself. Vigano's letter is a holy act and foreshadowing. After the tumult of 2020 goes away, a new inner tumult will be fomented by humanity's enemies. I've told you, Americans were being conditioned, programmed for serfdom because it's true. And they used media to do it. You have invisible chains on you you've never realized were there. And after their domestic control structure collapses, you are suddenly going to find out about these invisible chains because they, folks, are going to start yanking those chains hard. You will find yourself being pulled in directions you'd never thought possible. Inexorably. The silent war is real. It's a war for your mind and soul. They held academia and media for decades, unchallenged. Most of you won't want to realize just what that means. Allow me to be blunt. The psychic wars are here. And I'm already a veteran. Link in the thread to a Blue Oyster Cult video. President Trump likes to shake the box to discover heretofore unknown results. His results are usually amazing, but others can shake the box too, horrifically. Don't let these shakes go on. After Trump wins the peace, they will try to use media to eat your brain, to darken your soul by using every dirty Jedi mind trick they can to keep us from enjoying the stability, prosperity, and sanity President Trump is the herald of. Our national harmony is their greatest terror. They fear what that harmony would do to their nations as we shine forth. Hong Kong was an example of that. When educated people can look through a smartphone at the free world, their invisible chains appear. The reaction of the NBA and American CEOs was chilling. Chains, anyone? Do you see it yet? Far worse is coming. Yank, yank, yank as they drown. Because the Chinese Communist Party is doomed, folks. They'll be consumed by the whirlwind of their own making. But like a Bond villain throwing the destruction switch for their hidden base, they'll try to take us down with them. Also, rest in peace, Sean Connery, the best Bond. Link in the thread to You Only Live Twice. Blofeld shoots Osato. Carlos Osuita threaded about a dream he had where arrogant and belligerent people destroyed themselves through sheer hubris. It's going to be people like this Patriot on the phone. They're going to yank his brain right out of his head. He'll do all the work. Link in the thread, Friday Night Live, Wake Up America. We are live covering the nationwide demonstrations and peaceful protests. Soul War continues. As they smile and smile, don't make it easy for them. Your personal harmony is more precious than diamonds right now. Hang on to it like a life preserver, because it is. Every single thing, every crime, every outrage is designed to claw your peace of mind away from you. Donald Trump broke every chain anyone ever tried to place on him, guaranteed. A soul who chose the light and to take up the defense of humanity for our sake, not his. He's already free. Now, he will break as many chains for us as possible. But he can't break the chains we covet. That's right, coveted chains. When that velvet glove you loved suddenly becomes a deadly vice you're frantically tugging at to escape, you will see with new eyes how we were all being encouraged to destroy ourselves, our lives and energy and potential wasted as intended. Drugs, booze included, food, and porn are just the most prominent vices we were caught in. More insidious ones were being grown among us. I covered in a YouTube video of a thread I called The Black Holes of Degeneracy. Link in the thread. Our DNA's drives being used against us. Others see it too. Tim Pool. In moderation, drugs can be helpful. Food, a necessity, and porn, well, I'm not a teenager anymore. Right now, millions of Americans are drowning in this stuff, ruining their potential, deflecting their purpose for being here. Link in the thread to a Tim Pool video. Video games and social media tap the same tribal, violent, etc. Artificial highs and pleasures designed to pull you away from living and experiencing a meaningful life. Because a fully stable, sane, and prosperous America spells doom for those invested in chaos. They've unleashed it on America's streets for one last hurrah before being driven out. Well, their hurrah ends in 74 hours. The roar of the MAGA lion will drown it out as Americans realize their strength and numbers in wishing to uphold the American spirit. The inner war will be as brutal as the outer was, but we'll win that too. But hear me clearly here. There will be casualties along the way to those stars. Become like the British during the Blitz. They didn't just keep that stiff upper lip, they were cheerful and delighted in defying the Nazis. Happy warriors, confident that might for right prevails over might is right. So, as the enemy inundates you with their noxious waves of doom and gloom, smile right back at those failing, grinning jackals as all their scheming and machinations come to nothing. The red tsunami is here, and it will wash away all their dark dreams and desires over us. The only doors left to them to try and ruin your peace will be the ones you leave open. Be mindful of that in the coming weeks, months, and years as more and more Americans move from being woke to awakened. Don't let them in, okay? Because that would be bad. To donate to Brent Cates and support his work, donate any amount here at paypal.me/Brent Cates. Also, the Americana Rising Teespring store, link in the thread.